In our headlines for this evening, locally, Ministry of Works commissions new excavator and completion of road rehabilitation project described as a victory for Nevis. The details are straight ahead. Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Thursday, February 5th, 2015. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. We go now to this special report.
The Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal today discharged the interim injunction that barred action from being taken on the newly passed constituency boundaries. Today, Prime Minister the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas responded to the decision via local radio.
It's obvious that there has been quite a bit of care and caution which the National Assembly had spearheaded in the work of the Electoral Boundaries Commission from its very initial status to its it being passed into law. And this, of course, has been validated. I want to also emphasize that the attempts of the democratically elected Labour-led government of St. Kitts to establish fair electoral boundaries in keeping with the requirements of the Constitution have at last been affirmed by the Eastern Caribbean's highest ranking jurist has been very valid and responsible and just.
The appeal hearing was held yesterday, February 4th, in response to a request by Prime Minister the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas that the date of the hearing be moved forward so as to avoid the administrative complications that would ensue were the court's hearing to take place on Monday, February 9th, after nomination day tomorrow, Friday, February 6th. Today's decision gives effect to the proclamation which has realigned the constituency boundaries for St. Christopher 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 and Nevis 9 and 10. That proclamation was passed in the National Assembly on January 16th during an emergency sitting, after which the Parliament was dissolved. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, election of members of the National Assembly is scheduled to take place on Monday, February 16th. Reporting for the Nevis Newscast, I am Fredicia Liburd.
The objective of the Hamilton Government Road Charlestown Bypass Road project is to improve access to and through the area, improve the drainage and pluvial water evacuation, and enhance the aesthetics of the area. That is according to Director of Public Works Raoul Pemberton.
Phase 2 of the Government Hamilton Charlestown Bypass Road Rehabilitation Project was completed with a total duration of 10 months spanning from October of 2013 to January of 2015. A total of 1,390 feet of 2x2 U-drain, 1,810 feet of 18-inch slipper drain, and 3,100 feet of curb, 90 feet of 4x4 culvert, and 5,250 feet of roadway was constructed at a total cost of 1.6 million EC dollars.
Meantime, Junior Minister of Works Honorable Troy Liburd notes that the Public Works Department's undertaking of the project has resulted in savings for the NIA.
It is a significant milestone for us here in Nevis because we have showed a lot of people who have said that this could not be achieved by us here locally, that it can be achieved. I want to first of all say thanks to the Honourable Premier and to my colleagues in Cabinet for showing the confidence in myself and in the staff of the Ministry and in the staff of the Public Works and Water Department, and indeed in the people of Nevis, in giving the people an opportunity to do meaningful work such as this work. This road will serve to touch the lives and serve to improve the lives of the many people who have to traverse this road every day.
The project is in keeping with the NIA's policy of empowering the people of Nevis. It has brought an economic stimulus to the island, Minister Liburd says.
This road was originally slated to cost just about $4 million. And you heard it from the Director of Public Works that all that we have done here, we did for just about 1.6 million EC dollars. And I also want to say that, as usual, we have gone above and beyond what was written on paper, because we not only did the roads, we did a lot of driveways and walkways for the people in Hamilton. Those were not in the original scope of works, but they were added as we went along. As the people requested it, we could not deny the people, because it is our purpose to serve the people.
The completion of the project, according to Minister Liburd, is a victory for the people of Nevis.
That $4 million, most of it would have gone to a foreign company. And I do not see anything really wrong with foreign companies, but when resources are scarce, we must get the most for our resources. So the trucks that pulled the material here were local trucks. The backhoes and the excavators and the other equipment that work here were local equipment. So local people benefited. The monies would have circulated in the economy here and would have done the most that it could do here in Nevis.
Minister Liburd and Director Pemberton were addressing a ceremony held on Tuesday to rename roads in the Government Road Hamilton community in honor of Nevisian cricket icons Stuart Williams and Carl Tuckett. Meantime, the Nevis Island Administration's Public Works and Water Departments yesterday added a new piece of equipment to their fleet.
Behind us we have a Hyundai Robex, I think it's a 235 excavator. It's a very unique piece of equipment, and when you add it to the other acquisitions that we have made lately, it will form a part of a fleet that we expect would push us, give us a good jump going forward into producing good works for the people of Nevis.
That was the Honorable Troy Liburd, Junior Minister of Communications and Works, speaking at the commissioning of a new excavator in the vicinity of the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School. Junior Minister Liburd went into detail about the equipment.
The excavator is a very, very versatile piece of equipment. We've seen them all around the island. But this one, I think, is especially tailored to what the Public Works Department does and to what the Water Department would be doing with an excavator. I think we did a very good job. We did a good consultation in speccing the machine that we have behind us here. It's not the ordinary type of excavator that you see around. Here we have a zero tailspin excavator that is particularly tailored to working in tight areas. There are some areas on the island where we have very narrow roads, and this machine is particularly tailored to work in those areas.
Permanent Secretary of Communication and Works, Ernie Stapleton, also attended the ceremony.
The intention of the purchase of this excavator is to be utilized by the Public Works Department as well as the Water Department in executing our works with regard to infrastructural development on the island of Nevis.
Also witnessing the commissioning were Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Amory, Legal Advisor in the Nevis Island Administration, Colin Tyrrell, Manager of the Nevis Water Department, Roger Hanley, Director of Public Works, Raoul Pemberton, Principal Assistant Secretary, Denzel Stanley, and other members of staff at the Public Works Department. Pastor Bernard Brown of the St. John's Pentecostal Church blessed the equipment. Stay with us, we'll have more local news after this break.
You are watching NTV!
Welcome back. 3 properties in Nevis are the top 3 of the 10 best hotels in St. Kitts and Nevis. The travel section of U.S. News ranked the top hotels in the Federation based on an unbiased analysis of awards, expert recommendations, and user ratings. Of 5 luxury hotels, 4 made the U.S. News list of the best hotels. Number 1 on the list is the Nisbet Plantation Beach Club. Surrounded by 30 acres of tropical palms and powdery sands, this former 18th century sugar plantation set along Nevis's northeastern corner impresses guests with its rustic charm. Though a versatile menu of amenities is nice to have, recent guests say the impeccable service and relaxing atmosphere are the resort's greatest assets. Meantime, coming in a second is the Four Seasons Resort Nevis. This ultra-luxurious hideaway fringing Nevis's western coast maintains its Caribbean ambiance along Penny's Beach without sacrificing its brand-wide exceptional service. Number 3 is the Mount Nevis Hotel, which draws visitors with its commanding views of the Caribbean Sea. Guests can enjoy the scenery from their private balcony or patio. Meanwhile, the hotel's welcoming staff is just as pleasant as its setting. Recent guests claim everyone from the concierge to the gardener greets visitors with a smile. Also making the prestigious list is the Oali Beach Resort, a delightfully small, informal, ecologically sensitive beachfront resort. The Oali Beach restaurant is right on the beach and features Caribbean fusion cuisine. As part of its mandate to oversee the tourism product on the island of Nevis, the Ministry of Tourism on January 23rd undertook a site inspection of the popular Source Trail in Gingerland. Policy and Regulation Officer John Hanley, along with Dorson Otley, Sylvia Dorr, Lydia Lawrence, and Carmen Hanley of the Ministry of Tourism, inspected the trail to evaluate its safety for use by both visitors and residents. Under the guidance of licensed tour operator Erla Liebert of Erla's Eco Tours, the team carried out its inspection of the area and made its observations. The ministry is of the view that the trail is safe to explore. However, to best experience the trails, the ministry advises that certain precautions must be adhered to. The Ministry of Tourism advises residents and visitors to Nevis to acquire the assistance of a licensed and experienced tour guide when going on hiking expeditions to the water source and similar trails. It is further advising that hikers wear appropriate waterproof footwear, hiking boots, or comfortable walking shoes, dress and equip themselves for the conditions, which are usually wet and slippery, and to follow the instructions given by their tour guide. And finally, 2 officers from the Coast Guard of the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force are among participants from Barbados, the Regional Security System RSS countries, and independent Commonwealth Caribbean countries who have successfully completed a maritime tactical planning course. Captain Lynn Wilkin and Sergeant Shamin Bolas were among participants on the course from Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Trinidad and Tobago, who attended the course delivered by a visiting training team of experts from the Royal Navy at the Barbados Coast Guard. At a closing ceremony at HMBS Pelican, certificates of completion were presented by Commanding Officer of the Barbados Coast Guard, Aquinas Clark, and Lieutenant Leader of the visiting Royal Navy Maritime Training Team, Commander Howard Clark. The participants studied a number of areas, including national strategy for maritime security, international maritime law, rules of engagement, command and control, maritime security, operations, and logistics. That's it for tonight's edition of the Nevis Newscast. Thank you for viewing. Good night.